Of Onewheel. It's a pleasure to be here, folks, and we're going to be getting started here in just a few minutes. But until then, enjoy the groovy tunes, and we'll see you in a few. What up, guys? It's Luch. Oh, wait. No, it's not. It's Belly. That's right. It's me, Belly, hosting the show today. Luch is on the road again. He is an unstoppable force. Look out. Get out of his way. He is not going to stop jumping on these. It's going to be, he's crushing it out there. He's on his way to Pittsburgh right now to work a private event. That is a big deal for him. It's going to be awesome. I'm sure he's going to crush it. I'm super excited to be hosting the show today. I'm going to turn down my music here. Oh, man. We've got a good show for you today, man. Luch set up a lot of this. We have Cauri Jaye joining us. We have the service centers on the way. They're already out there, folks, and I'm sure there are going to be more hitting the map sooner rather than later. I'm excited to get more information, so start thinking up and bubbling up your questions. I'm going to get in the social media lounge here to make sure that I have all of your questions available to me, and hopefully we can all together really get the best information out of Cauri and what we can expect out of this. I may be joined by June Kim later. That's another discussion. It's kind of a follow-up from what we had in the show before. But first, I got a boo-boo. I had my first crash. It was a great time. No, I was not paying attention. It was totally my fault. I have had a fantastic time riding my Pint. My current day streak sits at 15. I am almost to 100 miles. I'm hoping to get there today or tomorrow before I leave for my trip to Michigan. But I'm bringing the Onewheel. Don't worry. I'm going to try and show it off to all the peoples. But yeah, it was a fun little dive I took there. I was cruising, listening to some music. Something caught my eye off of the front of me. I was rolling in the street, and boom, hit the hole, hit the ground. But yes, elbow pads would be a great idea, Rebecca Randolph. I should have thought of that before. Oh wait, I do have elbow pads, and in fact, fun fact for all of you. So I was wearing wrist guards and helmet as well. My wrist guards were scraped up pretty good. Thankfully, I was wearing them. The funniest thing, though, the funniest thing to take out of a crash, especially when it wasn't that serious, I wasn't hurt very badly. I had my elbow pads in the backpack I was wearing on the ride. So, if you could offer me a dunce hat, if I had one here, so I would put it on because I had my elbow pads in my backpack ready to go. I could have been wearing them the whole time and boom, would have been fine. But, you know, I enjoy the battle scar. I love telling people the story of how I got it in the sense of helping them learn and helping me learn. What I learned from the board that day was you're going to fall. And I'm glad I got it out of the way. I'm hopeful that it doesn't happen frequently, but I've been really getting used to the board. I'm hoping to float every single day leading up to Float Life Fest. And that's the other thing we're doing today. By the way, we're sending someone to Float Life Fest. We had some great entries, and to start off, I'm going to show some of the entries that didn't win that I thought they did a great job. So I'll start by showing the first one there. Hope you guys are having a fun and fantastic day. This is a little harder to do, I know, as you all know, when Luch isn't here. We're going to start the one here with a late submission. Unfortunately, it was just too late to really push the numbers. But we love Aaron Knowles here at TTR Studios. He's a world traveler, was in Germany, couldn't ride his board for a million years, and finally is back in the U.S. and finally floating again, as you can see. It's obviously taking him to a whole new world. He wants to go, but not this time, my friend. Not this time. Hopefully you're there anyway, because I want to meet you in person. Very excited to get down there. Otherwise, guys, let's see. I'm bumping around all over the place here, trying to get in all my social media lounges to make sure that I'm giving you the... Aaron Knowles, we love your submission, man. You're too late. These guys have been on it all week long. The two other guys I'm going to show later on, including the winner. But we'll save that for just a little later. I'm just trying to get to both groups. I want to see some of the Facebook comments too today. Ooh, someone said they felt like trapped in an elevator. Uh-oh. Hope not. But anyway, let's get Cauri Jaye on. I mean, it's time. Let's start figuring out what's going on with these service centers. Where can I send my board that doesn't cost me an arm, a leg, a left nut, and maybe a whole one wheel to get fixed? So yes, let's get them on.
The person whom you're trying is currently unavailable.
Oh, that's not good. No, the YouTube stream is kind of choppy right now. It'll come back. The Facebook stream is fine. If you want to head over to Facebook, we're over there as well. I'm trying to stay in both social media lounges today. But I have Cauri Jaye. Welcome to the show, my friend. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I see you're doing a good job managing the whole thing.
Yeah,
without Adam.
It's a lot of knobs, buttons, slides. I got to figure it out. My fingers are still trying to find the magic, but it's all going good. I appreciate that. But Cauri, first, how are you doing today, man? How's the life out there?
I'm good. Life is good in Los Angeles. It's always sunny in LA. I've been I injured my ankle a couple months ago, so I've been running light on the one wheel, not too much, just going up to Tahoe a couple of times to race, but not really riding as much as usual.
No,
so
okay.
That's a little sad.
Well, I know the DMV misses you. They just shouted you out in the social media lounge there from Emily Hickey, so we know Emily well.
I miss them too.
Yeah,
I do. I really miss them too.
Now, are you planning on joining us at joining everyone at Float Life Fest this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely be there with family.
Great to hear. That's going to be an awesome time. I'm excited for my first time, so it's going to be great to meet everybody in person. But Cauri, so tell us a little bit about the Stoke Life service centers. Just set it off. I'm going to start showing the website and everything.
You know, we talked about it some months ago when I came on the show and we chatted, and I did a shout out looking for people who were interested. So the idea was that there's two things. One, on one side, people are hard pressed to send their board back for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks without their board to get it repaired, and that's it can be just to do a simple fix or to change things. And on the other side, Future Motion was having a lot of boards coming back that were brand new, that were badly modded and didn't work. And when they got put back together and got sent in, and so they were being overwhelmed, and they're having to hire loads of new people to do services, and it distracts because the engineers that are actually designing the new boards and doing the new work are the same ones that were doing a lot of the repairs, and so they weren't able to do as much work on new boards and new products, which is what we really want from them. So the idea was, let's get all the service centers around the world together. Let's get more people set up to be able to service boards and do simple things that need to be done. Everything from just modding the board and pimping it and putting all those nice things on it, to waterproofing it and protecting it in different ways, to changing tires and even dropping in and changing the bearings out and when that goes. So now we have this service where on the web you can find things. We're in I think we're on 4 continents now, and there are 25 different service centers around the world where you can send your board in.
Well, that's great to hear. Now, how many vendors or how many repair people do we have? You have set up so far?
So it's 25 now around the world, and they are. We have sort of a standardized price list for the most part. So across the board, things cost a reasonable amount, and you can get all the things done almost anywhere you are. We're in Balkans and Netherlands and England and all over the U.S. and Australia, and there's a few more coming on board soon.
Sure. Now that's something I was going to ask about. Like, how do more people get involved in this? How do we get more this more spread out?
So if people have service centers, there's an application on the website. The website is stokelifeservice.com. And there's an application on there, and you can apply and send information. We ask certain questions to make sure that you're qualified, and we chat a little bit. And if you're qualified, you'll be added and become part of the network. It's stokelifeservice.com/application is where the application is.
Yep, and you can see that. I'm showing that right now on the website. You can see how you apply and what services you can really add on to this service centers. But that's an excellent thing, man. So I know we talked about what really drew this up, but do you think this can kind of set up a decrease in the cost the cost of an overall repair throughout the whole network, including Future Motion?
I think that there are a lot of things that can be repaired very easily and quickly. And if you're local and you can take your board to somebody who's nearby and not have to ship it halfway around the world, the costs go down dramatically because you don't have all those additional shipping and logistic costs. And all our shops are tooling up more and more. We share a lot of information from the more experienced to the less experienced about what equipment to have and what works and all the good practices to make sure that things are secure. And so all that normalization and that standardization will bring down the costs and make it easier for people to get things repaired. We also have what we do is a 360 check. So when your board arrives, all of the service centers run a 360 where they look at all aspects of it and they report on it. And then after they're done the repairs, they run that 360 again to make sure that everything is in working order and the things that weren't working are now working. So that also helps us keep a standard high quality of repair across the entire network.
Wow, that's excellent. I mean, the 360 check, that's just like a good add-on, just like any other service center for any other car. They're going to check all your basics just to make sure you're not running off the road for something simple, something they can't tell you about right then and there. I mean, that's...
Well, a couple of our service centers are actually high-performance car shops and so on. And so, this didn't just come about from me sitting down. Like, I had a lot of help from the community and from a lot of people who got involved, like designing the 360. And, we communally put together the price list, and we're putting together all of our best practices. And it is really a community-led thing. So each and every member of the network contributes to the network. So it makes it stronger.
Yeah, and you can see that 360 checkup where it's checking all of your covers, your lights, your back, every aspect of the board. I mean, that's something you can't beat in anywhere on the board. Now, is there anyone that you really got all the help, a lot of help from really putting this together that you really want to just shout out, make sure that they're acknowledged in this?
You know what? I don't want to call out any one person because they're all amazing, right? And everybody's helped in their own way. There has been go onto the website and look at the different service centers. You'll see all the people there. Every single one of them has contributed to this to make it happen. So there's no specific shout out. It's been a real communal effort.
Now, who do you think benefits the most from this? I know, especially in Europe with the shipping cost, it's got to really help out in that sense.
Oh, it's huge for people in Europe. and people just outside the U.S. generally, or even on the East Coast of the U.S. It's a huge benefit. Just being able to go down the road, or even ship it down the road, rather than ship it across the world to just get it repaired. It's just a huge change. And because the quality of service is high, you can make sure that you're going to get your board back. Now, I have to say the one thing that we are not qualified to do, and there may be a couple of shops amongst us that are willing to do it, is to get into the controller and get into the electronics and that still has to go back to Future Motion. That's not our wheelhouse. But anything that's mechanical on the board, pretty much, and the basic electronics like lights and so on, we can deal, for the most part. Most of the shops can deal with that. And what'll happen is we're going to set up a service desk at Float Life Fest, so damaged boards can come in and be repaired and fixed up while you're there. And Dom Williams is helping us set that up because he's local to Asheville. But all of our different people will be there servicing. People are driving up tools. Cauri is driving up tools from Florida. Like, we're going to have a nice setup there. And the other thing that we're doing while we're there is we are internally running little clinics for our own people in the network. So the people who are more experienced are teaching the people less experienced how to do different kinds of repairs on the boards. So as we keep sharing, we're going to get better and better at what we do and become a more efficient and shop.
That is great. That is great news to hear. Only because I'm going to be down there. I'm trying to get some extra level of expertise on how to install this stuff where I may not be comfortable putting in armadillo jizz, for example. And you brought Cauri up. But I know that there was a lot of assistance there. And now, do you think you're going to get a lot of more people, or an opportunity for people to apply to be part of it at Float Life Fest?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping to extend the network. I'd like to double it up to 50. I'd also like to get some representation further east and more in Europe and the UK, as there are a lot of boards over there. There's been some requests for more people from Canada, because at the moment we only have one place in Canada, and it's on the east side of Canada. The west feels a little left out. So yeah, I'm hoping that a lot of people who are at Float Fest apply, and even people who are listening to this, if you can repair boards and you're willing to learn and have or already know how to, and then please apply, and we'll get people up to speed.
And I'll add those links in the description of this YouTube video as well, so that you can just click them right in if you think you can do it and you think you have some skill in it, or you're willing to learn some of it at Float Life Fest as well. I'll have all those links in the description of the video, so you can get right to it. Hopefully we get more and more out of it every single day, because I think where we at now, you guys mark it, today is 9/10/2019. I want to see in a year those service centers go from 25 to over 100. I think we are all hopeful of something like that, where people are jumping in on this, and this is creating a whole new environment, and it's making the board even easier to buy at this point.
I have to say, some of the shops are at the beginning, and they can just do plates and fenders and simple things, but they're learning, and they're each growing in their skill sets to be able to do more things, tires and bearings and so on. So we're at different levels, but over time these things will normalize, and you'll be able to get all the services everywhere.
I was going to say, what do you see for the future of this? Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I was going to say, what do you see for the future of this? Getting those vendors more well trained
Well, so the way that we're going is we're going to start offering more services. So we'll have specific websites for the individual vendors where you'll list their services and their prices and have more information and make it easier to get in touch. We're also going to talking to some of the vendors of third-party kit to be able to sell through our vendors, and people can buy through our vendors, and at a maybe some slight discounts and stuff here and there, so that you can actually buy your third-party accessories at the same time that you take your board in, and so on. So we're going to keep enhancing the services as much as we can. I'm continuing a conversation with Future Motion. They cannot officially support us, but they know what we're doing, and they know that this is not against them. This is trying to help them out and trying to clear their backlog of boards that are coming in that are just damaged and badly modded or simple problems that can be fixed outside, and just taking the weight off their logistics, so they can focus on making more products for us.
Yeah. Now, do you think Future Motion may even try and take advantage of this service in the sense of like even getting out themselves to some of these service centers and kind of?
I would absolutely love them to, and I know they have had some thoughts about opening up a service center in Europe and so on. But this is a big move. Like when you do that, suddenly the second you go from one place to two places, it becomes it's a very large undertaking. They use a lot of their own tools that they've built themselves for this, and they have their own specialized tooling. Suddenly they have to increase the number of that tooling, and each time they change a tool, it means they have to send it across the world. And so the logistics of actually setting up an official service center is quite a big one. So I'm hoping that they take advantage of us and they get on board with the network at some point, and and start using it to their advantage, because this is there for them. This is community created for Future Motion, really.
Yeah, I mean, to lighten the load, and this gives them also the opportunity to really work on the next thing, where that alleviation of that kind of stress, where now we've got the number of people buying boards, it keeps going up and up and up. I mean, we don't see it stopping, right? So when it's only one spot producing all this stuff with only these people, only a finite amount of people working on this, this kind of thing really could benefit not just will it, but it is going to benefit across the board. So I can't thank you enough for being part of putting something like this together. I'm sure the community is very thankful. Now, I want the community to start sending me in some questions. Let's see if I can find some. All right. Everyone's talking to themselves in here. As per usual. Let's check my Facebook. Let's see. Now, some of replacement of components and sockets and things like that, are there going to be like replacement parts and things like that available?
So we're, as you know, it's not possible to get parts from official parts. And so there are discussions as to how we can do that. Some people have boards and spare parts and so on that they can use in their shops. Other people, there are services online like Ryan, where you can actually get your hands on brand new parts. And so we're working on that. But at the moment, it's a shop-by-shop thing. So if you do need new parts, just reach out to your local service center, ask them questions, and they'll let you know what they can do.
All right. That's some excellent information. Now, Cauri, I don't have a lot more for you. Is there anything else you wanted to add on before we get out of here today?
No, just, if you have to send your board in, just go to stokelikeservice.com and, just get in touch with us. Like every single person who's fixing boards is also a rider, so we know what you're paying.
All right, that's it, folks. That's a pretty simple solution to simple in the sense of getting it out there, not simple in the sense of setting it up, because setting it up takes a lot of effort from across the board. It's going to end up being hundreds of people getting this thing off the ground and rolling. So, and I think this community will be able to really help push that forward.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cauri. Enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy that California sun, man.
Thank you. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
All right, guys. That is another fun day. I mean, how could you not be psyched for that kind of thing happening in the Onewheel community? And honestly, it might not even stop at the Onewheel community. A lot of riders in this community do ride other boards. These service centers could benefit not just the Onewheel community, but all e-skate community in a whole, and really bring it together. I mean, the possibilities of something like this are endless in that. And I think, where do we go from here? What do we do now? I mean, I'm lost in it. So let's see. Where do we want to get? What do we got? I'll show you another submission to the Send Me to FLF. This one I really liked. I enjoy things that have no script to them. I don't need to be told. I want to visually see where a movie's going sometimes. That's why I like John Wick 3, where Keanu Reeves' script must be like 2 pages long for an 2-hour long movie. But this one here, let's see if I can bring it up. The tiniest thing. I'm gonna go to his actual page. I think that's it, right? What in the is that? How do I get it full screen? Full screen I want. Full screen. What is this nonsense? I want to start it over because it's good to start it where it's supposed to be. This is part of what was what you should do to do this event. He started it with My One Wheel Is Taking Me. For all my podcasters, we're just watching a clip from Forged, FORDGED, on Instagram. Definitely check him out. Send him a follow like I'm about to do right now. That's a live follow, folks. Send him a follow because this is some excellent video work. It tells the story of where your one wheel is taking you. He's showing scenes from all over his one-wheeling experiences. With all kinds of boards. He's showing you all kinds of terrain. It's an excellent video to watch, and he's obviously does a lot of great one-wheel work. Send him a follow over there on the Instagram page because that's some cool stuff, and that was a great video. A great submission, but unfortunately not the winner this time. Did not get enough likes. He got a lot, but not enough. There was a big campaign for our winner, that's for sure. Another thing I wanted to bring up today, we had, some of you may have seen it a couple of weeks ago, from Race for the Rail, one of our fellow one-wheel riders, Taylor Kelly, she had her board stolen. A very unfortunate incident. That's something that I think all of us kind of fear in a slight sense, because it's, one, a part of us, and two, it's an expensive piece of equipment. We do not want to lose these boards. Everything we do when it comes to safe, like locking it up and everything, we do it because we want to keep it there. And someone in our community has gotten their board stolen. It stinks, and we want them back on board. So I'm going to share this just so you all can see it. Ooh, not that one. There, boom. You can see it there. The Replace Taylor Kelly Float Life Stolen Board and Float Life Fund. This is a GoFundMe. You can find the link in the description of this YouTube video. Hopefully we can get some links out to you all as well. But definitely get out there if you do have a little extra fundage you think you can throw out this way. Definitely send some love to our fellow one-wheel riders because we know this is a tough situation for any of us, and we want to make sure that this is a great community. Send the Stoke. This is someone who went to Race for the Rails, someone who loves their board, someone who wants to get back out there, and it's not easy to do when something like this happens. So if you can, donate. If you can't, just send your best wishes because this is something that we really hope that doesn't happen to a lot of us, and hopefully with the way this community works, we can push something better out of the situation. The other thing, let's see. I wonder if Mr. June Kim is awake and willing to give me a call. Don't look at any of that. That's all. I'm not used to pushing all these buttons. The other thing I saw that really was super stokey in the one-wheel community lately is freaking Texas, man. Everything's bigger in Texas. And it's true. They crushed it. They had a little one-wheel day recently. They had over 100 Onewheels attend the event. That is an excellent. I think that's an excellent challenge to all the Onewheel communities in their region. And if you haven't yet, if you aren't looking for your local Onewheel communities to get in on rides and do all the fun stuff, you need to jump in on them, because this is the kind of stuff that you'll end up doing. And I'm going to show this video now. Now, as Amanda Thompson is pointing out in the social media lounge, and for all you podcast listeners, we're watching a fun video from the Texas crew that had over 100 Onewheels attend a float event. They called it Onewheel Day, which is awesome. I think all communities should come up with their own Onewheel Day, or make it all the same day. Oh my. Do you imagine? But it's an incredible video edit. I'll try and add this link to the comments in the comments of the video as well after I get out of this. But as Amanda Thompson pointed out in the social media lounge, that's bigger than the first Float Life Fest. They had like 80 people there that first year. This is more than that, and that shows how this wheel is really building, and how big this community is getting. You want to get in on it now. Get in on it while the fire is slightly warm, because you don't want to get burned. But yes, an excellent video from the Dallas, or I think it's, was it Dallas? I don't know. I can't. Texas is so big. There's so many things going on there. I don't know what's what. But an excellent post from them. I'm trying to also find the awesome photo from that event, but it'll only take me a minute. Otherwise, guys, I'm trying to get other people on here. We'll see how it goes. My phone. Oh, I have a missed call. Probably not from today, but I don't even know if I have that plugged in. there it is. The so I've been riding around on my Pint a decent amount. I've been doing all kinds of stuff with it. One of my favorite things so far is just kind of getting out as far as I can and then getting my way back. I think that's what a lot of us try to do. Now, my problem with it is I have to take breaks. Like, I take breaks after like 4 miles, like stretch my legs. I stretch before, stretch in the middle, stretch after. But I'm having a blast. It's something that, darn you, Luch, for getting me involved in this. I mean, I curse you and your Onewheel community for getting me involved in this, because it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's terribly addictive, and I've went out to the other weekend. I was staying out at my sister's and just exploring around the neighborhood, and I stopped at a brewery, had a beer. I went out to a local town center area and floated around there. It's a lot of fun, but there's something that also happened to me recently. I was told for the first time I can't ride that here, and I was fairly surprised because I have been riding in this area for all of the 2 weeks I've had the board, almost every time I'm in the area, and multiple people that work in the area I ride in, none of them have stopped me except for this one guy on a golf cart. And he said it's because it's a skateboard. And I said, well, sir, it's not a skateboard. And the county that we are in currently has laws protecting electric mobility devices. And he said, it doesn't matter. It's the rules of this area. I said, okay, I appreciate you telling me that. I'll definitely stop my ride. Is there someone I can contact to get more information about this? He said no. And I said, oh, okay. But I did end up calling and reaching out. I'm waiting still on a response. They are doing a deep dive on their rule book to try and tell me I can't. But so far, no go. Hopefully I get that email back, and then I get the email, and then I can share it with my local riders so that they can ride there too whenever they want. Because no. But man, what a day it's been. I probably won't go the full hour today, folks. TBH. Just because I tried to get some people's on, but everyone was busy today. Everyone was so busy. Ooh, I might be getting someone on here very shortly, though. Just because it leads into a discussion we had. We were talking about a dog incident that occurred, and Luch was fired up about, and the handling of the situation, and trying to offer better solutions than what was offered. And I understand that perspective because we all care about our pets. It's something that we don't ever want to see our pets hurt, because pets are like kids to us. But at the same time, there is a safety issue of the pet owner needs to take a responsibility in it as well, with having their dog better trained. I personally, when I am riding around dogs, I either will turn away, cross the street to give them space, or my biggest thing is I go super slow near them. I don't go really fast. I just take it really slow, and so far I have gone by multiple dogs. None of them have chased me, or they've been excited to kind of see me. Unfortunately enough, all of them have been on leashes, where they're under their owner's control. But at the same time, I also notice that while they're excited, they don't jump out at me or do anything wild, because I am taking it very slow around them. I don't want to startle them in any way. Same thing when I'm going by people walking. I'm coming up on their left side. I'll say something like, "Hey, coming behind, coming on your left," and then I'll slowly float by them. I don't zoom by anybody, because one, I don't want to get zoomed by and startled. We're all walking. We're all sharing the same space. We should respect others' spaces just as they are respecting ours, right? So yeah, I take it typically slow around like people and dogs, because that's my general mindset in there. I don't want anyone to kind of be startled by me coming up on them and just going zoom right by. They may be startled, think it's cool to see, or they may be startled and think, what the hell is that doing on my sidewalk? Get it out of here. I don't want it here. Stop it. It scares me. What is that person doing? It's unsafe. You'll scrape your elbow. You'll shoot your eye out. No, you won't shoot your eye out. Good old Ralph. And I would love to see a parody of A Christmas Story about a Onewheel instead of a BB rifle, where there's all the teachers are just telling them, no, you'll hit your head, you'll crash too much, you're blah blah blah, all the excuses. Santa pushing down someone who's like, no, I want a Onewheel, and he's like, no, kicking him down. That would be an excellent parody remake. Maybe because the holiday season is still so far away, I'm putting it out in the atmosphere to see what we can do. Maybe a couple of creative people in local communities, maybe even this one, can work together to really put together a fun little bit of A Christmas Story. Maybe that's for saving that for the holiday season. I'm putting it in the atmosphere. Maybe I'll help. Maybe I'll help and get that done myself, because I just came up with the idea right here and now. Who else would be interested in like a movie like that, a little parody kind of thing where you'll break your collarbone, you'll nosedive? Yes, Social Media Lounge. They're all in on this, I think. I want it, and then I can find a leg lamp. I can do all this stuff. We'll make that could be a quick little 15-minute parody movie video where we all get together and just have some fun. Dibs on being Santa, though. Although I'm sure there's tons of great Santas in this community. But yes, that would be I'm working on getting my next guest in here. He's doing one thing, and it's June Kim is coming. I'm telling him just to Skype me when he gets a chance. What other parody movies could we create with the Onewheel, man? Oh, geez. Fast and the Furious? Let's see. What romantic comedy could we come up with for a Onewheel community? These are all... Oh, yes. Oh, fair question, Mickey. Since we're waiting on June Kim, I can tell you who won our trip to Float Life Fest. Let's see. Do I have winter music here? Winter music. Is there winter music? What's this one? What's this one? Oh, my God. What is happening? Yeah, sure. We're going to announce the winner for Send Me to Float Life Fest, because I'm waiting on a call. Oh, except he's here. Well, he can join me to announce the winner. June Kim, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Pretty good. Hey. Ow.
Hey, Dags.
Hey.
Turning off that music. June, I'm gonna do something real quick here. We're gonna announce the winner of the Send Me to Float Life Fest with you on the screen, because I want you to see who we're sending, because this guy has been in the community for quite some time. He is a fun-loving bastard. Excuse me, I said bastard. But he is someone who has contributed a lot to this community, comedy-wise and also T-shirt-wise. Or no, not T-shirt-wise. In terrible add-ons like porcelain float plates, because it's the owner of Lewino.com. Mr. Canadian Davehere is our winner.
Oh, that's awesome.
For the Send Me to FLF. And I'm bringing up his video. I had it up, and man, I've been telling you, I'm clunky as heck today, June. I am clunky as heck. How's your day going?
Woke up literally 10 minutes ago to have a dog dropped off, and now I'm awake.
Well, that's what I'm bringing you
So-
on for to talk about today. Let's talk about that. I'll show you Parker's video or Canadian Davehere's video at the end of this, but I'm bringing you on today to talk about that dog situation that happened to one of our fellow riders and what was best to do in those situations and kind of your reaction to like the conversation we had last week.
All right. So most dogs are not trying to murder you. Like I said, just prey drive kicking in. They see something moving. If they are afraid. Most dogs, they chase to just prey. It's instinct. It's just they have to go for it. It's just when they get there, what are they actually going to do? Sometimes they do. They will bite. Sometimes they'll try to bite the board because they don't care about you at all. Or you freak out and then they freak out and then it's game over at this point. So, I mean, jumping off the board and, trying to put your hand out, things like that. That's also dangerous because, when we do bite work, whatever you offer, that's what they're going to bite if they're actually wanting to do that. So the best thing, like I said, I do carry mace with me at all times. I've dealt with many situations where dogs have tried to hurt me or my shepherd or my little dog at this point where they're so focused that they won't leave. Like you can try to scare them, you can yell at them, you can do whatever, they will not leave. Now, I've only maced 2 dogs in my life, and they were actually seriously aggressive, trying to kill my shepherd. And my shepherd's just doing a downstay. I'm like protecting them over her, kind of just needing the dog to get away, but then they're also trying to bite me. So in those situations, you got to have something to get rid of them. Now, I've actually know how to handle aggressive dogs, but a lot of people don't. Where you know how to grab them, how to pin them, and try to subdue them at this point. But a lot of people don't know how to do that, and they'll get seriously injured because these dogs are a lot faster sometimes. So. And I've been seriously injured by many dogs. I have a canine went right through my hand right here. That's mainly working with my clients, but I do work aggressive dogs. That's what I deal with.
I was going to say, tell us a little bit about your background in this and tell us about how you know a lot about what dealing with these aggressive dogs is like.
Well, the thing is, I used to have an aggressive dog. So I had a Doberman about 10 years ago. He was a nightmare. I couldn't take him anywhere. He was really aggressive toward people and other animals. And it was just like this, I mean, I loved him to death in the house, 90%. I mean, he was great in the house with me, but anybody else, murder time. So I just got tired of it. I didn't want to lose him though, because once again, he was so good. And that's a lot of problems that people have with their animals is they're 90% awesome. And the 10%, they're just terrible. And they just can't justify whether they want to put him down or, give him away. But then that's another person's problem now. And it just becomes this huge thing. So I did a lot of training with them with this. At this time, I was just a UPS driver. I didn't have any I had basic dog knowledge at this point. So I went to the clicker treat training school to try to help him. That failed miserably. I went to a behaviorist, she did help me after a year of working with them. And then I ended up doing an apprenticeship through her. And that is why I do this now. I've been doing this for 11 years now, training dogs and as a behaviorist, working on, once again, aggressive issues mainly, but a little stuff as well, all that other fun stuff. And I just know what it feels like to have this dog that I don't know. It's like a burden, I guess. It's like it weighs you down. You can't do anything. You can't go on vacation. You can't go out with your friends. Or if you do go out with your friends, you have to I have to get home. You can't just hang out the whole entire time because you got to get back to this animal at this point. Or you could use that as an excuse, like my dog's crazy, I got to go home because you're not happy with the time you're hanging out with your friends or whatever. But yeah, that's my deal at this point. Because of him, this is why I do what I do. I quit UPS, started my own business, and this is where I am right now.
That's a nice inspiration. I mean, to me, that's a good inspirational story. I mean, you took something that you were having trouble with. You not only helped yourself with it, but also created something out of it. And I think that's an excellent story in itself. But the dogs, when it comes to aggressive dogs, do you see a typical thing that can really build up a dog's aggression, or is it all about, is it a mix between owner and dog? What can we really learn from this?
It's all how you react. Dogs are very simple little creatures. They're not dumb, but they're very simple, as in if they do something and you have a reaction and do how you react, that's how they're going to follow through after the fact at this point, right? Now, depending on training or whatever the owner who has a dog does, if they lose control of the dog, that's already way far gone at this point. I mean, a dog's first thought should never be leaving your side anyways. That's one of the things I teach to all my clients. The dog never walks away from you, ever. You are the leader. You're the back. You follow the leader everywhere you go. So if the dog is willing to just bounce away and just literally leave, yes, like Adam was saying, it's not their fault. They don't know any better. But essentially, at the same time, you wouldn't let your kid just run away like that. You know what I mean? To a certain point. But yeah, so I don't know. You'll know when a dog is about to pounce essentially at this point when they're to you. Once again, once the dog gets to you, like say you stop the board, you get off, you'll know almost instantly if the dog's gonna try to hurt you or not. They're just either gonna run away once all the motion is stopped, or they're gonna investigate. It's just what you do in that investigation moment, as in you ought, like Adam was saying, offer your hand. If the dog is immensely afraid, it's gonna bite your hand. You know what I mean? Just stand still, try to ignore the dog, and if at that point, if the dog continues to pursue you, then that's when the mace comes in, where everyone had a huge debacle about that. But that's when the last resort comes in to help you to save yourself. Because once again, the mace is not going to kill the animal. It's not. I mean, worst comes to worst, to spray him, it runs, it gets hit by a car, terrible. But like that's very rare that could happen. But they'll
That's
go
a
away.
freak accident.
Yes, it can happen though. But I mean, it's the mace is there as a last resort situation. But it's like it's to protect yourself. I mean, that's what you use mace for, generally for other people as well. You don't just mace anyone you see. If you see a threat and they won't stop, because there are dogs out there that won't stop.
Yeah.
Once they engage, you are screwed. They will. There's tons of videos on YouTube. I've seen it myself, where once they're locked onto their target, whether it's an animal or a dog or a car, whatever, they won't stop till either they murder themselves. I've seen dogs latch onto a tire and just spin.
Yeah.
Even though they're getting pain, they don't stop. Once they're locked in, they're done. They're ready to rock. And once again, Darwin's law, they shouldn't be alive, but due to the fact that they're biting tires and getting ripped around all day long. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the
once a dog locks in, and all it's very tunnel vision in the sense of like trying to get to that moment or that thing. You kind of it kind of loses all its other senses. Its listening, its ability to really calm down.
Like a lot of people have dogs and they're like, "Oh, my dog listens so well in the house, but the moment we go outside, I got nothing." Well, that's only because you've trained your dog in a very calm environment and you've never actually worked them in anything past that.
Yeah. Like,
it's like having a kid in a classroom all by itself studying. It does great. But the moment you add all her friends in or his friends in, they can't focus anymore because they just want to play with their friends at this point. It's the same thing the dogs do is you have to teach them how to work in these environments. When Ava, my shepherd, does bite work, she is the happiest girl in the world. She even at her age, at almost 13 years old, she still sees a suit. She's ready to rock and roll, even though she can't really do it anymore because she's old. But she's like fires up. She's happy. She wants to bite. She wants to play tug and all the good stuff. And yeah, she gets super excited and fun, but she still listens because I've trained her in that environment. I've trained her with the bite suit guy out and we're like, hey, we're not biting today. Hey, we're going to heel pass. Hey, we're going to do this. And she has to work even though she's extremely the happiest girl in the world. Or like really wants it really badly. And that's what I try to get my clients to understand is like bicycle chasing on like we have something called trail, and everyone loves to walk. And it's a huge long, I don't know how, it's like 50 miles long trail. And they walk their dogs on it, but they chase after things. I've had many instances where I'm used to when I had my bike for a Onewheel, where Ava and I are doing our 12-mile run, and a dog just comes out of the bushes because their owner had it off leash and they're picking blackberries or something. And then they blame it on me for going too fast, which is ridiculous. And you can see it happening. Like I know I can read the dog, but they just get all down low. They're ready to, like, they're stalking you. And then all I do is I typically stop the bike, let them come at me, and then I just kind of yell at the owner, "Get your butt over here!" While I'm trying to deter this dog. And then like I said, there's no owner. It's a stray dog. Now you're really screwed because there's no one to help you. This dog will just continue to engage until either gets what it wants or you do somehow get it to go away from you at this point, which is not always the case. They usually won't leave.
Now, is there an option for someone, like say someone really just doesn't want to use mace on a dog? Is there an option besides like jumping off the board and just standing still? Is there like or is there a more or less like abrasive option?
Like if the best thing to do is if they have some kind of leash on, if they happen to bite you, you need to grab that flat collar they have on if they have one, and you need to pull up. We do this with law dogs all the time to get them to let go of the bad guy, essentially. And we just hold them up and we kind of choke them out a little bit, but we're not like trying to murder them. Just hold them up. They will release. No dog will continue biting over breathing. They'll always let go every single time. A lot of people try to stick their hands in their mouth. Terrible idea.
There's teeth in there.
Punch dog in the face. Huh?
There's teeth in that mouth. Sharp teeth.
Yeah, well, everyone does. For some reason, their instincts is get their mouth and they pry. They try to pry the mouth open. Believe me, dogs' jaw strength are epic. There's no such thing as lockjaw, but they do have insane jaw pressure at this point. But yeah, so the best thing is grab the back of the dog's scruff and you need head control. you got to have head control, because the dogs, they're just like, well, not as bad as cats, but they're square little guys. And if they can get around, they can actually get you. You just need head control. So it's just either scruffing. Well, shoot, Ava's right here. So Ava, come here. So we'll show a little bit. So essentially scruffing is just grabbing the back of the dog's neck like this and just getting that head control the best you can where they can't get you from the rear.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Well, I don't know if you can. Yeah. So
Yeah, I can
essentially,
see
that's all. Yeah, no, you're not in trouble. You're fine. But that's kind of how that works. Or and then pinning them to the ground so they can't hurt you until they decide to quit. But once again, they're going to be fighting you the whole entire time. I do not recommend this as one fast way to get bit, but in the last resort, you have to find a challenge dog at this point.
Yeah.
So. But that's a last resort, like super last resort. If you can get away, get away. But the more you run, they're going to chase you.
Mm.
Like I had this Great Dane come after Ava, and I tried to sneak away. So the Great Dane would kind of lunge at us a few times, then get distracted and start waddling around. So I started backing up. The moment it saw us move, it came right back at us again. So it was really hard to escape. It took and then the owner finally came out, but because I'm just like yelling, because I didn't have Mace at that time. But like he wasn't a mean dog. He just could not stop engaging with us. I tried to grab him, and then he tried to bite me because he was freaking out himself. And then, so it's just, I don't recommend grabbing some random dog you don't know and trying to manhandle it down to the ground. It's a terrible idea. But that's something you might have to do as a last resort to save yourself. Because I don't know, like I said, once a dog latches on, they're typically not going to let go unless something terrible happens.
The Social Media Lounge thinks the pocket steak is the best option besides mace.
So the pocket stick is great, but then you could kill the dog. You can give it trauma. You could literally kill. You might have to if it's trying to kill you, obviously.
Yeah.
Once again, last resort situation. But mace is the most effective way to get a dog to let go. And I haven't done tested a million times, but most dogs will let go under mace. Worst comes to worst, now they're disoriented. You can actually get them off you, and then they don't know where you are, and then you can just get the heck out of there as fast as you can.
And they'll
mace
most likely
is not going to kill them. Yes, it hurts. I've been maced many times. Not because I'm a predator, but for testing. Essentially, I've been maced many times by law enforcement because I work with them, and they just like to do that stuff. They have to do it, but I just did it for fun, and it was not fun. So, but you can't die from it. Obviously, it does hurt. The owners can wash the eyes out. It's fine. The dog will be irritated, obviously, but usually it does not make them more aggressive. They just get very disoriented and get distracted. They don't know what the hell's going on. They usually then lose focus on you.
Mm-hmm.
But that is why mace, pepper spray does work. Mace is just way better than pepper spray. It's just way more effective.
The last thing.
So I've had.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Go through pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've had dogs through pepper spray like it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I'll suggest is is there a good way to communicate with an owner of a dog that where you can tell them hey, this needs to, or an owner of a dog that's actually the other aggressor in the situation sometimes.
There's not a lot you can do there because humans are dumb.
Yeah, and you can't mace them, or otherwise it's assault, right?
They're gonna put it all on you, dude. It's ridiculous. I've even had a situation where they told me dog was nice and it wasn't. And I reached out and it kind of bit my hand and like, oh, it's your fault. Something must be about you my dog doesn't like. And after you told me dog was fine, when obviously the dog was not fine at all. A lot of people like to think their dogs are the angels of the world, and they don't acknowledge all the bad stuff the dogs do just because they can't. They don't want to see it. They want to ignore it until something majorly bad happens where they're forced their hand by the county or the city that they have to do something about it. And then that's where usually I come in as a last resort trainer for a lot of people. Otherwise, they lose their dogs. Literally, we used to have a 3-strike program that's not there anymore. But after 3 strikes, the county will make you put your dog down, or you have to move the dog out of the county.
Yeah. Is it now when it comes to training dogs? Is it more training the dog or more training the human?
Never train the dog. It's always the people. And, it's just I have to change the way you see things and what you think you see compared to what the dog is actually showing at this point. So that's all I do is train people. I do train dogs, obviously, but I do train the people how to see things. Especially every dog is different. Every situation is different. You have the same aggressive problem, but there's different triggers that cause it to happen. Or the dog just is literally a butthead or an asshole at this point, and he just wants to. He just is. Dogs are out there. They're like that. My Shepherd's the same way. She used to be very dominant when I first got her as a little puppy, and she's still doing now because she's old, but she's always challenged me and all that stuff. But that's the joy of having a dog like her, is a working Shepherd. And that's what you're going to get. Like, people are buying Malinois right now because they see all these movies, like John Wick 3 with the Malinois they had on there.
Yep.
And then see Max the movie Max with that Malinois. They're like, oh, Malinois are awesome. They're not good pets. Caleb will attest to this. They're not good pets. They are great working animals, and there are certain breeds out there that are fantastic, but there's other breeds that you should not just own just to have a dog.
Got it.
They need something. They need a purpose. If they don't have a purpose, they're going to take over your life real quick.
Well, June, that is all excellent information. I appreciate you coming on, really clarifying a lot up and setting records straight on some things, because this is an important conversation.
There's lots of out there. So I'm not right about everything. Well, I mean, there's lots of opinions out there. Everyone sees everything differently at this point, but that's how I see it. And it's just, like I said, people think it's cruel or whatever. Even the techniques. I do use the prong collar, which a lot of people hate in the state of Washington, and I have to convince them it's not about hurting the animal or killing them or, destroying their necks. It's just once they learn, then once you change the behavior, then we can move on.
Exactly.
But a lot of people don't know how to change the behavior. They just kind of deal with it, or they walk around the problem.
Yeah.
Which is what a ton of stuff I see is they just walk around. Oh, dog's aggressive with bones. Don't give him bones anymore, or don't play tug anymore. Don't take it for walks anymore because we don't know how to deal with this. And then the quality of the dog's life just drops tremendously.
Exactly.
And what's the point of even having the animal at all at that point?
Well, I see in the social media lounge they were pointing out the Huskies and Malamutes from Game of Thrones. So that's another TV shows and movies always inspiring stuff.
I mean, but it's crazy. Like people they just want a dog. So that's the problem is they just want a cute or handsome or beautiful dog, but they don't realize what they're actually getting with it. Yeah. And then people that even know what they're getting into still have major issues at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people get lucky. Exactly. They get really nice dogs, and then they have like 4 or 5 more, and then they have this one devil child, and they're wondering, why aren't you like the other dog? We're just like, why aren't you like your brother? That kind of attitude, and that's terrible.
Well, we're all different people, dogs. We're all different, person to person, dog to dog. So we can all learn from that a little easier.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, June, thank you for coming on today. Anything else you want to leave the people with?
I don't know. Just float on, guys. It's raining like hell right now, so I'm not having any fun.
Yeah. Well, see you at FLF, eh?
Yes, indeed. I'll be there.
All right, man. Have a great one. Thank you.
All right. Peace out.
No, great information from June. I mean, the dog situation is dog to dog. It's going to change no matter what. So thank you, June, for coming on, giving us some that's real insider information, folks. I mean, he works with dogs. He works with people who are trying to train their dog. That's something that is always going to be a difficult situation for riders, not just riders of one wheels, riders of bikes, walkers of dogs. I think we have all dealt with aggressive dogs in our lifetime to kind of see how these things go. So hopefully we learned something from that today, and hopefully we learned a lot from today's show. But the last thing we're going to learn and see today is the one, the only Canadian Davehere.
Hey everybody, it's Canadian Dave here, and the Onewheel has taken me out of depression. And all joking aside, I mean, it really has. About a year ago, I was going through a really tough time in my life and was pretty depressed and ended up getting a Onewheel. And just being able to float on this thing is amazing. But more importantly, it's the community that I got involved with. So big shout out to TTR Studios and the Facebook groups and all the vendors out there. I love you guys, and I haven't met a single rider yet. I'm a complete loner out here. But what I would love to do is go to Float Life Fest. Unfortunately, my kids decided to flush a bunch of stuff they weren't supposed to flush and ruin the plumbing, and now it's no longer a financial priority. However, my wife did say if I win this, I can go. So leave a like on this video, and hopefully Canadian Davehere will be at Float Life Fest. So thank you to Float Life Fest. Thank you to Voice of Onewheel and to Future Motion. I love all you guys, and hopefully I'll be there. All right. Bye. Hey, everybody. It's Canadian Davehere, and the Onewheel has taken...
That's the winner, folks. Claps all around. We need it. He's not met a single one-wheeler. Are you kidding me? Canadian Davehere? Not a single one? We need to get that guy into Float Life Fest so he can up that number by over hundreds, because he has done a lot for this community. Lewino.com is one of the most hilarious one-wheel sites out there. If you have not seen it, it's one wheel spelled backwards, folks. Go search it up. They've got some funny products that you would not believe, including the pocket stake, which may or may not save you in a dog situation. Most likely not. Most likely it'll get the dog to chase you, not keep it away, unless you just throw it out. But yes, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to turn on some music here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Next week, I think we're going to be doing it on a different day. I think it's Wednesday. Luch has got something going on. We want to put a show together for you together. So hopefully we will be in studio. We will be here tomorrow or next week, and we will catch you all on the other side. So thank you for joining me today. I hope it wasn't too clunky for you. I know I at least got it on Facebook Live today, and I did record the podcast that I just need to edit down a little bit. And hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Belly out! You've just listened to another production from TTR Studios. If you like what we do here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to TTR Studios on YouTube. And if you feel like becoming part of what we do here or receiving bonus content and gear, jump on over to patreon.com/TTR Studios LLC and join TTR Nation. And for all of us here at TTR Studios, we'll see you in the social media lounge. Later, folks.